Hello, thank you for stopping by. My name is Becky and this is BecxReadz, and today I'm going to share with you how I use Storygraph. Storygraph is a reading tracker system similar to Goodreads. It is independently woman-owned, unlike Goodreads, which is Amazon-owned. I did use Goodreads for the majority of my life. It was the first reading tracker system I ever used, and it wasn't until 2020 when I discovered Storygraph that I gave it 3 months in tandem with Goodreads to see if it could offer me anything more of value than I found from Goodreads. And at the end of that 3 months, I completely deleted my Goodreads account and now I solely use Storygraph. What I hated about Goodreads was it never changed. And to this day, to my knowledge, I don't know, it might have changed in the 3 years that I haven't been there. But people were wanting like half-star ratings and Goodreads just never gave them that. People wanted a DNF option. Goodreads never gave them that. Goodreads just refused to give its users what it wanted. It became just such a drama-filled platform. You could not have a negative opinion of a popular book and just write that opinion and let it be without the fandom or sometimes even the author coming at you and harassing you or bullying you for that opinion. And it just became so drama-filled that I didn't even want to be there. The other thing I hated about it was the feed itself. I would log on to mark the books that I had read and all I would see is so-and-so started following this person, so-and-so became friends with this person, so-and-so reached 30% in this book. And I did not care about any of that. I just wanted to see what people were reading and read their reviews occasionally. That was it. And I couldn't do anything about that. The only thing I could do was change my settings on my end so people didn't see that from my profile. Other people would have had to go into their profile and change that setting so I didn't see it. I will say the one thing that I still use Goodreads for, even though I don't have a profile on there, is sometimes when I'm looking for books with like certain settings or certain tropes or something like that, I will put into Google what I'm looking for, and Goodreads lists will often pop up and I will look through those. So I still do utilize their lists because I think that is a good way to find books if you're looking for something specific, but I just don't use it as an active member. Every time I go into Goodreads to look at a list, they're like, create an account, and I'm like, no. So I'm going to insert a screen recording so you can see how I use Storygraph and the benefits that come of it. So this is my phone home screen. I'm just going to tap on the Storygraph app to open it. And this is the home page that will show up when you open the app, and it'll just tell me what I'm currently reading, my to be read, some recommendations based on books I've read prior, the giveaways they have available, and what's popular based on the people who are using the app this week. I rarely look at this. I'll give it a glance, but I don't really do much with it. I will hit the little person icon over here to go to my profile. And this will show you the actual images of the books that I'm currently reading. You can hit reading journal, and this will show you an entire breakdown of everything you've read. I hardly ever use that feature. Here it'll give me a brief synopsis of what my reading style is. As you can see, I mostly read fiction books that are emotional, adventurous, and lighthearted, typically fast-paced between 300 and 499 pages. These are all the books that I've read recently. You can see all of them or see my reviews. This is my to be read pile. And if you click on that, it will show you all of them. As you can tell, I have 201 books in my to be read list. You can filter this based on a number of factors. This shelf right here, it's a transfer from when I had Goodreads. Apparently I had a 5-star reads list. I wish I could delete that because I don't really care about it, but it's there. This is my owned books. So on here, you can mark a book as owned. So every time I get a new book, I mark it as owned. So that way I can keep track of it. These are all my tags that I have. So once I've read a book, I will tag it with certain descriptors. So if I want to recommend like a Friends to Lover book or something, I can just click on Friends to Lovers and it'll show me all the books that have that in it. These are my reading challenges that I am currently taking place in. My annual reading goal, 50 states, read around the world, and I'll show you how you can access different challenges here in a little bit. But that is basically the profile screen. if you go to the statistics button, this will show you the stats for all the books you've read. So you can once again filter it by read books, to be read, DNF owned, things like that. You can do it based on the year or all time. You can do it by month. Let's look at my July just so you can see like the statistics for a full month. So here it will show me I read 13 books in July, total value 3,867 pages, the different moods, the pace of the book based on the average person who's read it, what they marked it as, the page number, nonfiction versus fiction, the genres, the tags I gave it, the formats. The formats can be kind of tricky because not all formats are available on Storygraph. On Storygraph, you can go through and you can literally mark, I've read the hardback version of this, or I'm reading the paperback, the digital version, or the audiobook. And sometimes, especially for indie books, you might be listening to the audio version, but Storygraph will only have the digital version on there. Now you can go in and you can manually import that yourself. So that isn't always accurate on my account. It'll tell you the languages you've read, the star ratings, the number of pages, and all of these graphs are tappable. So I can literally tap on fantasy and it will show me all the fantasy books that I read in July. Or I can tap on page count, so under 300, and it'll show me the books that I've read under 300 pages. So I really love the statistic features in this app. I think it provides me with a lot of information that I find useful. Now, if you click on the little people icon down here, this is where you get like the community and you can see what other people are reading on Storygraph. Here I can just see all of my friends and the people I'm following, what they're reading, what they're rating their books. I don't get any sort of notification of they followed this person, they made it to so many percentage in this book or whatever. I don't get any of those. I just see what people are reading and what they rated the books, which I feel is incredibly clean and streamlined, and I really appreciate that. Now, if you click on somebody's see full review, let's see if this person, they did write one. So this is another thing I love about Storygraph, is if I click on see someone's review, I can read what they have to say. I can see their opinions, but I cannot comment on it. And I love that because, you know what, you should be able to share your opinions on a book, good or bad, without having people come at you for those opinions. So I love that Storygraph does not allow people to comment on reviews. I can heart that review, as you see there. I've hearted it. I'll heart it again. But I can't comment on it, and I find that to be so nice. So those are the basic 4 sections of Storygraph. So let me show you how you add a book. So let me go to my TBR shelf. Let me just pick a book at random and say that I'm reading it, even though I'm not. We're going to use this crazy as a loon. So here, if this is blank, you can say to read, whatever. So you click that arrow and it gives you the option of read, currently reading, did not finish, which is nice, or remove the book from all of your lists in general. So let's say that I'm currently reading this book. Now let's say I've finished reading that book. I can say I've read it. And up here it'll say add review. So when you review a book, it gives you all these things. This book would be for someone who is in the mood for something, and you pick the things that you think this book had. Was it adventurous, challenging, dark, etc.? How would you rate the pace of this book? Slow, medium, or fast? Is this book mainly plot or character driven? You can say plot, character, a mix, or not applicable. Is there strong character development? Again, the same 4 options. Did you find the characters lovable? It's complicated. Would you say the cast of characters is diverse? Again, the same 4 options. Are the flaws of the main characters a main focus of the book? So those are just some questions you can answer about the book you've read. You don't have to answer those if you don't want to. I know some people who use Storygraph who don't answer those. They just skip on by it. But then you get down here to your star rating and you got 1 through 5. But you also get 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75, which I very much appreciate. And then you can write your review right in there. I know some people who use Storygraph and Goodreads together, and so they will just copy their review from Goodreads and paste it into Storygraph. You can also come down here and you can add content warnings. So anything that's graphic, you click there and it'll give you a list of content warnings that you can add to the book. Moderate, minor, same thing. As you can see, this is part of a series, so you can just tap on that series, and there's only one in that series at the moment, so you can do that. You can also tap on the author's name, and it'll show you all the books by that author. Let's see if this book has any different additions to it. So here you see it has a digital edition, a paperback edition, an audio edition. So you can literally pick whichever edition you're listening to. So here, if you click on these three little dots, you can mark it as finished. You can view your journal entries as just like, I've reached this page or I've reached this page. I never use that feature because I pretty much just mark when I've read it and when I haven't read it, unless I'm doing a buddy read. You can add it to reading challenges. So let's add it to a reading challenge. Now say this is actually set in New York. So I could tap on 50 states and I can go all the way to New York and hit that button and then scroll down and hit save, and it'll add it to my reading challenges. You can mark it as owned if you own this book. You can tap buy. And Storygraph is actually affiliated with Bookshop US, Bookshop UK, and Blackwell. So if you click on any of those, Storygraph gets an affiliate from it. I never use that feature, but it's there. You can browse similar books. So if you enjoyed this book, you can hit on that and you can see all of the similar books that people think are similar to that. You can also start a buddy read, and I've used this feature a lot with Kristen at Kristen Craves Books, which I find is really nice. You can enter in a description. I never really do, but you go down here to where it says usernames. You type in the username of the person you're looking for. You can add an end date to it. So if you have like a book club or something, you could say, well, I'll be done with it by the end of the month or whatever, and you can create, and that will send a notification to all the people that you invite to the buddy read. And that allows you to read the book in tandem, and you can mark where you're at in that book, and say you've reached page 35 and you had something to say about something. You say, I've reached page 35, you enter in your remark, and the people in your buddy read can only see that comment once they have marked that they've reached page 35. So it allows you to read books in tandem at your own pace without being spoiled for it, and I love this feature. Say this book had missing information or incorrect information. You can click on that and you can send them a ticket to review it. So if it's missing a cover image, you could say it's missing a cover image or wrong publication date or something like that. And they're pretty quick about fixing that, and they'll send you a notification in the app once that has been finished. If you come down here, these are some of the tags that people have marked this book as: fiction, fantasy, challenging, mysterious, reflective, medium pace. If you click on that little tag, you can enter in your own, and that is where I enter in my tags. So if I read this book and it has enemies to lovers in it, I'll put in enemies to lovers and it'll put it in my tags section. So that way I'm able to find it easier when I want to recommend books. Down here, it gives you the description of the book, people you follow who might be interested in this book, who have it marked to read or are currently reading or have read it. That will show up there. Community reviews. It'll give you a summary of the reviews. Down here, you can see all reviews. And then you can also see any content warning that people have given this book. Moderate, etc. Now, if I go up here to these three little lines, you see home, stats, reading challenge, community giveaways, etc. So if you want to find a reading challenge, you just click on reading challenge. As you can see, these are the three that I'm participating in, but you can browse certain reading challenges, and you can look up reading challenges that other people have created. So you can see there are a bunch of Storygraph created challenges. You can filter it by genres. Let's click on that and see what that's about. Feminist Greek mythology retellings, you can click on that and you can try and read all of those. And you can just see so many people have created challenges
based on things. And this just allows you to keep track of the challenges, or you can create your own challenge as well. So I've done this with, I'm currently doing the 50 States Reading Challenge, the Read Around the World Reading Challenge. I did it for the A to Z Title Challenge. Giveaways, this is something that they just started doing. You can enter giveaways now. So let's just tap on view giveaway of one of these. So you can see it's a print copy for 5 copies available in the United States. It tells you a little bit about the book. It's fiction, LGBT, science fiction, young adult, book description, and then you can enter the giveaway if you want. So you can just tap enter giveaway. By entering this giveaway, you agree to all that, and then you just confirm and enter, and they will send you a message within the app if you have won. Notifications, this is where they will send you notifications of if you've submitted a book for missing information or anything like that, or if you have manually put in a book. Say you're reading a really obscure indie book or whatever, and it's not, you don't find it within the system of Storygraph, you can manually input that yourself, and then they will send you a message letting you know when it's available to mark as read. There we go. That is an overlook of the Storygraph app and how I use it.
Love Storygraph. I will always recommend it over Goodreads to people just because I enjoy it so much. I think it's a less dramatic place to be. It offers so many more statistics and so many more customized recommendations, and it offers you the chance to participate in reading challenges. And what I love about it is they're constantly updating for what their users want. So let me know if you use Goodreads or Storygraph or something else completely. I am not here to badger you into switching one or the other. If you absolutely love Goodreads, then continue to love Goodreads and continue to use it. The only thing I do suggest is if you are just starting out, if you're looking for a place to start tracking your reading and you've never used any system, don't just automatically go to Goodreads because it's the popular place to be. Everybody complains about it. Like, I hear some positives about Goodreads, but most of the time, all I hear is gripes about how it doesn't update. Especially when it comes time for the Goodreads choice words, all I hear is people complaining about it. So if people are complaining about it, but they're still continuing to use it when there are alternatives just because it's the popular place to be, that's questionable to me. So don't be afraid to go to a smaller platform just because it is the smaller platform, is what I'm saying. If you've made it this far in the video, could you leave me a cell phone emoji? Is there a cell phone emoji? There's gotta be a cell phone emoji. And until my next video, thank you so much for watching, and go track your reading however you like to track it. Bye!